Hello everybody, Robert Marzullo here, and today I want to show you how to go about drawing a skull. So just like doing any faces or whatever, it's kind of good to understand the structure underneath of it. So we'll go ahead and sketch out a skull today, and we'll do the same thing. So line down the middle of the face, or skull, line halfway down the middle from the top to the bottom goes the eyes, or the ocular openings in this case, and the nose, and then the mouth, where we'll place the teeth. Now, to structure this at first, we're going to draw this, we'll draw the opening of the eyes right here. They're going to look like kind of rounded, hollowed out areas, like that. And I'm just going to roughen the position of everything real fast here. Opening for the nose cavity, and the teeth. You're going to see every bit of them, so we'll do one side first. They'll start to kind of hide away behind the next teeth after about the third or fourth, and recess back like that. And the other ones will sit underneath these teeth a little bit, unless of course they have more of an underbite. Generally people have a slight overbite, so there's that. And the cheekbone will come out, it will protrude out, back around, and then connect to the back here. And some lines up this way. And you'll see ridges that kind of come up from the teeth to the upper jawbone or mandibular. And the brow will kind of come back and around this way. And also up and around the ocular area there. And essentially, you know, the same thing that you're picturing when you draw faces, you're going to be picturing when you draw the skull, but you're going to be more defined because there's obviously no skin or flesh or muscle in the way, so you're going to really bring out all these. So you're going to get in here and shade a little bit here. You're going to shade through here, so everything's going to be more defined when you're drawing a skull like that. And here you can actually usually see a bone back here, but we're just going to go ahead and shade this down. Start trying to create some depth here. And the eyes, they kind of do this thing where they have multiple shapes kind of flowing in and out of each other. It's hard to explain, but when you look at a, you know, always when you're doing a skull, it's probably better to use reference. I've drawn so many now, I don't look at reference anymore, but it's still good to do until you get a good feel for them. I always kind of forget how the jaw is here, but I kind of wing it a bit and usually can come pretty close. So, and it comes down, back around, and connects to the bottom of the teeth there. And this part generally will kind of do this number where you got more of a point, I guess, here, and then some shading here. It gets real thin back here. And again, the little ridges that come back from the gum line down like this. And you'll want to, if you're trying to make a more realistic skull, you'll want to texture the bone too. You want to give it, you know, imperfections and cracks and ridges and things, because it's going to be a very textured type of thing if you're trying to make it more realistic or even scary, I guess. So I want to say this will come up a little higher here. And the bone's going to have some, you know, just imperfections. It's just not going to be smooth and even symmetrical, just like faces should never be fully symmetrical, or you know, they're going to look a lot less inaccurate, or they're going to look more inaccurate. Okay, and then this here, ocular opening, shade this back, and then we'll get more more shadow to the top of the eye opening here. Okay, and then now we'll just go over to the other side. And focus on recreating what we've done on the left. Now back to the right side. What is good to picture here is that the nasal nose cavity or whatever is recessing back here, but it's in front of the eyes, and that's why you're going to get more of the shadowing right here to bring that out. And you got to picture that in looking through the eye cavities, you're going to be able to see the back of the skull, so you're only going to want to shade a certain amount down through here, and then you're going to want to show some texturing and some openings back here if you're trying to be very detailed or more accurate to what a real skull is going to look like. If not, you just fill these in all black and maybe put some little white highlights for some kind of ghostly looking eyes, you know, depending on what effect you're going after. Okay, so there's that. This bone comes down, connects around the eye cavity to the cheekbone like we did over here. And being that this is digital, or even, you know, if you were drawing, you could do the same thing with the light table. I could just take this left side and flip it. I'm more or less just doing this for practice to even, you know, practice on drawing these skulls and getting practice in symmetry right now myself, because it'd be so easy just to grab this one side, flip it over, add some changes so it doesn't look identical, and bam, be done with it, move on. But sometimes it's good to practice and do something, even though it's a little bit harder to do this way. You know, there's more reward when you do practice and get it right. So that's what art, a lot of times art, that's what it's all about, like just doing this stuff over and over again until it's just embedded into your brain box and you can pull it from your mind instead of looking at reference. And that helps you to be a professional artist because you can produce work so much faster. And even when you look at reference, it makes more sense than just pulling images out of your mind. You're able to recreate it even faster because you have a better working understanding of it. You know, you draw a face 1,000 times, you're gonna have a good understanding of where to go that 1,001st and anytime after that. So teeth, you're seeing the entire shape, and they look kind of you know, with these, I probably went too straight on this side here. You should kind of give them more variance and maybe one protruding out or one missing or whatever, you know, just to give it more realism. And okay, so the bottom portion of the jaw here on this side, back here, up to here. I'm left-handed, so I'm always stopping to move my hand out of the way, look at what I'm drawing. Or maybe just the way I hold my hand in front of my drawing, I always have to do that as I go. Alright, so again, the ridges, like the gum lines, or ridges in between the teeth coming up to the nose. And generally would shade the bone around like this and somewhat below it. Okay, so there's the basic shape of it, of everything down. Not my best skull, but not my worst. Doesn't look very threatening at this point. But now what you would do is just keep shadowing and trying to bring out, the depth of it. So a little shadow here. For more of a gruesomeness, maybe we'll exemplify or add more detail to the frowning area of the brow so it looks more angry. Excuse me. And you're going to want to add little cracks throughout. That'll give it a little bit more aged and gruesome kind of look, I guess. And I say the more texturing and shadowing you can do, the better on something like this. So just keep adding and adding. And actually the brow probably wouldn't even separate as much as I've had it here. That's actually part of the opening in the eye, so it wouldn't actually be separate pieces right there. So we could probably eliminate some of that. That's from me being so used to drawing character drawing or faces. And let's see, we want to try to shadow out this brow and make that look like it's protruding out more. Do some cross hatching and some line work here and there. Okay, so what I'll go ahead and do now, because this is going to end up being a pretty long video if I just sit here and keep scribbling away, I'll go ahead and speed lapse this next little portion. That way you can see how much shading I decide to add to this, and if it brings it out and makes it a little bit nicer, or if it, or if I should have left well enough alone. But I think if I keep shading, I can really bring this out and make it look a little bit cooler. So go ahead and watch now as the video speeds up, and let's see what we get. Okay, so there it is, and let me know what you think. And you can see I could keep going on and on with this line shading and just keep fine tuning it, adding more and more, and getting it to a nice dark gruesome look if I want. But yeah, so hopefully this helped you understand how to draw a skull and give you a better look into it. And if you got anything else you'd like to see me draw, please leave a comment, and I'll be happy to try to get to that. And also subscribe and be sure to share the video so I can keep sharing with you guys. So take care, keep drawing, and have a good one. Bye.